Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Leo here, and if you're welcome to all of my fellow adventurous souls. I'll just go ahead and say that right up front. And I'm out here on another adventure today, out here in southern West Virginia, out by the riverbank in one of my favorite little spots. I am going to set up here and do me a little bit of camping. Check out the trails down in there. Somebody's been doing some riding down here. I cut this out. I made this spot about a year ago, cut a trail coming in, and I was kind of hoping that other trail riders would catch on. It does look as though they have. So I like that. We should have got some new trails. I got me some new trails, y'all. I love it when a plan comes together. I enjoy coming out here and setting all this stuff up and having these little adventures and, you know, videoing it and bringing you guys along and try to share the adventure with y'all. Anyhow, all right, let's get to it. Quit running my mouth. I have a tendency to do that, in case y'all didn't notice already. But all right, we'll see y'all in a minute. Let's get to it and get started setting up a house. And boom, with the magic of video editing, we are set up and ready to go in a flash. It was really easy. Okay, no, it wasn't really that easy. But we are set up and we are ready. Got my lights out here and got my tent all set up. Give y'all the 50-cent tour. You can mail it to me later. Got my little fireplace set up out here. The spot actually, I mean, you know, it's a really cool little, you know, by the road, you know, off out in a little wild places, off a kind of little country road. But you know, cool little place with a really good little fishing spot. But before that, this used to be somebody's homestead. There used to be an old house right there. We had major floods in 1977 and 1984 that either one of them could have been the one that got the house. But this used to be somebody's homestead way back many years ago. There's a great big flower bed right there that I've shown before, you know, in the summertime when it's all blooming. But I brought a little spade. I'm going to get a couple of them, a couple of the bulbs that time of year. So go grab a couple. I've got some yellow ones at the house, some daffodils, and I think those are what, tiger lilies maybe. But anyway, I brought a little spade just to get a couple of them. I don't want to mess it up. I like it. It's pretty here, but very viney, very weedy, very overgrown kind of little spot. But it's a cool place to come and camp out and just kind of hang out and enjoy. You know, it's a good fishing spot too. But anyway, like I said, I've pretty much got everything set up and ready to go. And I'm fixing some ribs. I've got some country style ribs thawing out right here. And I'm going to reduce those, you know, simmer them down and reduce it and make me some really good ribs for later. And, you know, have me a nice little dinner. But I've got plenty wood. That shouldn't be a problem. I've got a little pile here, a little pile there, and a little pile over here. And I am also surrounded by down trees, so I really don't think firewood is going to be an issue, you know, once the sun sets. But we are set in here. Got my TV set up and power bank. Got my table. Figured I was going to cook inside, but I'm afraid it's pretty warm. It's not like hot. It's about 70, but I'm pretty sure it would steam up my windows, and it's already fairly warm in the tent, so I think we'll pass on cooking in here. But got my power bank down here, little table. Got my little drone, play with it later. And got my heat set up, diesel heater. 8 kilowatt. I've shown it, a couple times. But got it all set up. Battery over here, filled. And what did I do with my diesel? There it is. Got a little spare diesel if I need it. And plenty light inside. Yeah, this should be pretty well set. Heat and light and TV and snacks, and yeah, should be a pretty good little trip. So far so good. Shaping up pretty good so far. But anyway, I figured, while we're at it, I'd give you guys the quick tour, like I said. Over this way, now right here, I shown these last summer when they were in bloom. Just beautiful, beautiful flower beds. Somebody back in the day has set these out, and I noticed this time of year, you can't see this in the summer when they're all grown, but you can see the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of them. So I figure I'm going to get a couple bulbs from around the edges, some of the new ones, and set those out by the porch. But the old house that used to be here, like I said, this was someone's homestead back in the day. Who knows if it was the 77 flood or the 84 flood, but something got the house. And all that's left is what you see now. This used to be their yard. Someone's homestead. But it's floodplain now. It's down by the river, and you can't build on it or anything like that. I guess the Corps owns it now. You can play and come down and fish and stuff like that, but you can't build on any of this floodplain stuff. But you can see they had a 2-car garage there. I'm not sure if what that was there, exactly what was there. You can tell there was a 2-car garage and something up on top. It may have just been a garage, because right over here you can see what looks to be the foundation of a house, right there, and just set up on top of this. But who knows, right? Who knows? This could have been a business, and that been the house. Who knows? But the river's right over the hill here. Really good fishing spot too. I fished right over here many times. I think year before last. Now last year was a weird year. We had a flood. That's where all the little trash came from. Look over the place. Try to anyway. We had a flood. It's not the place's fault. But the nice little spots. A really good fishing spot right down there. I've caught year before last, I think 9 or so that were right about 3 foot long. So some really nice catfishing spots right in there. And I was just thinking, when those people, whoever lived here, they had a really good fishing spot, right down from their house. Of course, the same fishing spot threatened to flood their home, every 5 to 7 years or so. But yeah, I don't know if I'd build here or not, even if I did get the land cheap. But interesting little spot, kind of an interesting history that, this used to be someone's homestead, and now it's just a great big place by the side of the river, overgrown, and Mother Nature has taken back over. Of course, she ain't really interested in, it's February now, she ain't really interested in growing much right now, is she? Now you can see 2 garages. See how the roof kind of came straight down. Kind of made me think that it might have been just a garage. This might have been a 2-car garage, and the house sat right over there. And all of this would have been, you know, front yard. And I was noticing the big trees over there. That one, it's a great big tree that's laying down, a big pine. And that was probably something that they had out in their front yard back then, and now it's laying on the ground. But it was probably standing when these people lived here. Interesting little spot, isn't it? I mean, I know it's, you know, by the river, and we've had the flood, and it's a little messy, but still, a very interesting little place. All kinds of deer tracks and who knows what and all, other animals. You can see a game trail going down this way. There's a little one going around on this side of the tree as well. Let's see where they're crossing the creek at. Right there, ain't it? And that's where they're crossing the creek. But my little fishing spot is right down there. There's a bank, you know, by the river. You can sit right by the water, but it's under about 4 feet of water right now. I'll take y'all down there a little bit later, show you that. It's kind of, you know, looking upstream on the dirt side. We'll go downstream on the wet river side a little later. Very overgrown, isn't it? I mean, you can imagine when that house was there, I'm sure they had most of this clear. But Mother Nature's taken back over. She tends to do that. Got a little road over there in case anybody's curious, just a little country road going up by the river. It's not even state maintained. But you can tell where the river has gotten up and made little berms and different kinds of shapes. Dropped a tire or two. But it's still a cool little spot. Still pretty spot. I like it. Right, but not far from the road. And nobody can see you here. Very private. You see the rows. From here you can see them pretty good. How they're in rows. But I figure I brought a Walmart bag and a little spade, get a few of them. Just to take home, put around the porch with mine. But we are all set here, and I guess it is just about time to get dinner started. Got my heat all set up. Don't have it plugged up yet, but it's connected, and everything's ready inside. We should be good to go. Should be. Of course, you know how that is. That's kind of how surprises work. They surprise you. That's why they're called that, I think. Oh yeah. It's definitely going to be an interesting day. But now this is the other side. Like I said, I kind of cleared this out and, you know, made a little camping spot. And I was kind of hoping, you know, locals would come down through here and open up some trails, you know, make it a little easier to get down to the river to camp, and for me. And it worked like a charm. Look at this. You can actually see the tracks where they've come down through here. The ATVs break the trail. You know, bikes, ATVs break the trail, and then your side-by-sides can, you know. But anyway, yeah, right down through here, and you've got access to the entire bottom. But that right there was wild. I mean, earlier this year, this spring, or well, last summer, after the flood, it was just completely cracked up, just flood mud, and was cracked foot deep. But it's all settled in, you know, over the summer and froze over the winter, and it's all nice and smooth now. Looks just like, you know, anything else, I guess. But you can see where the ATVs have been going down in through there, playing in the mud down by the river. Looks like a little bit of fun, don't it? You know, cool place to take an ATV and just get out and rip around a little bit and have some fun. Very brushy though. And that's the old house. In theory, where the house was. What is that? Looks like a piece of tin washed down here. Looks like a piece of blue roofing tin from here. But look at this. They're cutting trails all the way down with ATVs. I like that. Kind of muddy though. You gotta watch your step. But got trails going down through here now and back that way and out through here. See, this was one of my favorite camping spots until it got flooded, and it's no longer level for one thing. You can see how it kind of, you know, dips to the side and got trees all in it, and that's all right. We camp up there, but cool little spot though, nonetheless. But just imagine, you know, 100 years ago, whatever, 80 years ago, you know, whoever lived in that house coming down here to check their trot lines or go fishing, you know, catch some dinner. Very interesting thought, isn't it? Man, there's still a lot of trash from that flood though. They do that. The river's actually up. It's pretty, but it's actually up about 4 foot, give or take. There should be a little beach all the way up through there. But little beach is under 4 feet of water. Yeah. Interesting. Train tracks over there. Should be pretty. Get the drone out a little bit later. Maybe, you know, maybe catch a train, right? Alright, let's head back up to camp, and I guess go ahead and get the ribs out and get ready to start working on dinner. I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. Don't know about y'all, but I'm getting hungry. Bunch of coyotes over there. Figure as soon as I get the camera they'd quit, don't it? There we go. Listening to that. Sounds like a whole bunch of them, don't it? Right back up there somewhere. Sounds like a whole bunch. Huh? Anyway, got me a nice fire going. Some of the wood's a little bit wet from, you know, the snow and ice and rain and all that, but got enough of it, enough dry to get the damp stuff going. Here an ATV over there. Heading down the little road. Wonder if he notices the coyote. Nope, he did not. Couldn't hear him. I'll be back. He's going the other way. He's going down the hill, down the riverbank. He don't see me. Well, my visitor left. He came down and went down in the little bottom down in here on a dirt bike and did a couple laps, spun around, slung some mud, put on a show, and took right back up through there and took out of here. I don't know if he saw me or not. I don't think he did, but anyway, he took off. It's just me again. Just me, Margaret. But anyway, all right, it is officially dinner time. Check this out. See what y'all think. Now, country style short ribs should be nice and cool too. Okay, we got broccoli and cheese and the short ribs in barbecue. Look at that. That looks pretty good. All right, I simmered them for a little while. You know, it should be good and tender. All right, let's dig some out and have some dinner. Be right back. Okay, we are all set up by my warm little campfire. Got everything all ready for nighttime. And got a little bit of time to spare. Not quite sunset. It's a little bit cloudy out today. But I got some dinner ready. Got my barbecue pork ready to go. And some cheesy broccoli. Here we go. Who wants the first bite? Go ahead. Nobody? Well, okay. If nobody wants it, I'll eat it then. That'll work. That will work. Nothing like a nice dinner. You're out doing something like this. Good hot meal, you know. Hang out by the fire and have a good hot meal. And we'll watch some TV in a little while. Alright, we'll see y'all in a little while. Let's kick back and relax a little bit and sit by the fire and have some dinner. See y'all in a minute. And that's what she looks like on the inside, all lit up. But yeah, dinner was really good. Been out hanging out by the fire. Still got it going. It's still doing its thing out there. Window's getting a little foggy already. Still got my little fire going, but I've moved in and got everything going and set up and got my heat going. Got it set for 68 in here right now. And tricky, you know, you have to put that in the proper place, you know, so yeah, but that should work right there pretty good. Well, it's about 9:30 now, and it is super dark outside. Not just dark, we've went well beyond dark. It's super dark out there right now. But I was just sitting there watching, you know, watching a video that we just put up from a camping trip I did. It's kind of weird, you know, you're sitting on, you know, you're on a camping trip, right? And you're watching yourself on TV doing a different camping trip. It's a little bit awkward, to be honest. It really is. But anyway, I want to take the new lantern out and give it a try in the super dark and just see how well it does. But the heat's doing great. I've got it set on 72 and she's just, yeah, cruising right along, no problem. Alright, let's go out and grab the phone just in case. out into the super dark. Well, I can see a little bit on screen anyway. I can see well enough. That'll work, won't it? There's a tent over there. Little red dot. Yeah, I can see for probably a good 30 feet. Something like that. Pretty good line of sight. Nice and spooky, ain't it? Nice and spooky. And we know that there's coyotes around. Ooh, and polar bears. Lions. Probably a few deer. Of course, I would imagine they've all bed down for the night. But yeah, this is actually pretty cool. Pretty cool out here tonight. A little bit on the chilly side. Like I said, it's about 52 right now. Not real warm, but not real cold either. Pretty cool. It's the best lantern I've ever had. And look at that. Something ran back in there, a spider. Come on out. We'll make you famous. Come on out there. Spider don't want to be YouTube famous. What can I say? Kind of weird that they'd be hanging out, you know, out here. Seems a little cool. For, you know, I guess maybe arachnids aren't the same. It's like I need to either get me a little bit of firewood or call it a day with the fire. Of course, I guess I probably won't be up that much longer anyway. My day started at 5 a.m. I have a question for you guys. Maybe see if you can agree with me or you have an answer, maybe. Some of y'all may remember back in the day that did 36 TV channels, right? We had 30, of course I remember 3 before that. You know, we had 3, but I remember going 36 channels was really cool. But anyway, how is it that when there were 36 channels, you know, and they were cable, you know, it's whatever's on is on, you know, you couldn't choose. How is it that back then there was always something on TV, especially during prime time, on 36 channels, but now that I have 36,000 channels, there ain't nothing on. It's all like really bad B movies and stuff, you know what I mean? How is that? Movies from, you know, on Prime even, you know, 1950s, you know, what? 1950s, huh? King Godzilla, huh? Okay. Anyway. Alright, thought I'd ask, maybe see if any of you guys might have noticed that too, that it just seems like maybe it's just me, you know. Maybe it's me, you know, shorter attention span or something, all the time doing something else. But it just seems like there's never any good movies on anymore. Not like there used to be. You know, there used to be really good ones, you know, good movies, summer blockbusters and stuff, but not anymore, is there? Alright, let's try to find something and just kind of chill and enjoy. I'll tell you, everything about camping, these right here, munch, they taste so much better when you're camping. Everything does. Imagine that. Well, alright, let's find some kind of movie, find something to watch. Got a little bit of time to kill before bedtime, and, you know, we'll find something, won't we? I believe that's the best ground seal I've ever done on this tent. Got a good seal all the way around. Figured out a way to wrap it. Wrap the around the skirt and weight that down. That works really good. I may have to try this again when it's in the cold weather. Of course, you know, cold weather's about gone, isn't it? Mid-February now. I mean, it's still winter. I'm sure there will be some more cold. There may be some more snow. But spring's coming. Spring is on the way. It won't be much longer. Things will be green and blooming, and it'll just be crazy vines and trees and weeds, cutting grass and bees and snakes. And yeah, I like summer, but yeah, it does have some drawbacks, you know what I mean? Alright, let's find some movies. Let's find something to watch. Well, that figures. Figures, don't it? I turned the TV on and laid down, watched some TV, and fell asleep. It's 1 o'clock in the morning right now. Figures, don't it? But my fire's all outside. It's completely cooked out. Yeah. Alright, let's try getting in the covers this time and do it for real. Good night, everybody. I'll see y'all in the morning. Well, good morning, everybody. It's about 9, something like that. Oh wait, 9:40. 9:40. But yeah, I've been up since about, I don't know, 8:30, something like that. Been hanging out, watching TV, and, you know, made me some coffee and pounded about half of that. Went over to those flower bulbs and got me a big bag of those, so we got enough to start them anyway. But I just happened to look at the weather. Look at that. The weather has changed. They're now saying rain starting right around 2 o'clock. So yeah, that gives me a time limit now, don't it? We need to be out of here no later than, say, if it's going to rain at 1:15, something like that. That shouldn't be too bad. That should be doable. Takes about, you know, take everything down to fold it up, you know, put it away right, you know, so you actually have it the next time. Takes a little over an hour, you know, to rip everything down and pack it up properly and get it all loaded. At least an hour. But I think we should be all right. Hang out for a little bit longer. Got me, like I said, got me a big old bag of flower bulbs over there. Got me a Duraflame going. You know, not a big fire. I'll be leaving in a few hours, and you know it's going to rain anyway. So ain't no need to, you know, get carried away. Not real cold anyhow. It's 45 to 50, somewhere in there. I'm, you know, just a little long sleeve shirt, you know, no hoodie or nothing like that. But it's actually pretty nice out here today. A little overcast, but it is still pretty. Still very, very naturey, you know what I mean? Definitely out there. Never did get to fly the drone yesterday. Had all that sunny weather, real pretty. Today was supposed to be nice, but here we are, looking for rain. But today was supposed to be 70 degrees and sunny. And now it's changed to like 60 degrees and a whole bunch of rain. Oh, that's what you get, right? You get what you get. It's like in bubblegum machines. There's a big truck over there on the road. You barely see it through the trees. Going down the little, it's a little country road. What is it, 292? You know, just a little, it's sort of a shortcut. This part right here isn't even state maintained. You know, they don't even, you know, it's locals take care of the road. But it's just, you know, it used to be part of a coal mine. I hear a train a-coming. Sounds like a country song, don't it? I hear a train a-coming. Pretty cool though, you know, just a little hangout spot for a few more hours anyway. I can live with that, I suppose. But anyway, like I said, yeah, it's been a great little morning, you know, just kind of hanging out. It's a little crisp outside, not too bad. Like I said, I'm still in just plain old long sleeve shirt, no hoodie or nothing like that. It is about time to start getting things gathered up. Got me, like I said, I got me a big bag of those bulbs. Didn't even knock a dent in the bed. Didn't even knock a dent in it. I just got some from the really, really thick spots where they were crowding each other. I got a couple of those spots, and that was all I got. And it filled a Walmart bag. Okay, there's some big ones in there, that big around. Alright, anyway, Little Light did great last night, didn't it? That thing is awesome. I like that. I do like that. Rechargeable too. Very handy little gadget. Very quiet. Just hear a bird every now and then. When the sun was out yesterday, you know, there were birds and animals and squirrels and coyotes and all kinds of stuff out doing their thing. But it's just a little bit cooler today, no sunshine. And I would imagine, you know, humidity, they can probably tell that there's rain on the way. They probably suspect, at least. But, alright, let's get to it. I guess I'm going to go ahead and get started ripping things down. So far, all I've got is one little lantern that hung right there and that light that was, you know, I moved it. That's as far as I've gotten so far. But I'll leave the drone out till the last minute. Like I said, I want to try to catch a train. Got to shoot through the hole one more time, maybe. Alright, let's get started and get packing. And yeah, get this show on the road, turn the music back on, and get started getting ready. Well, it looks like another little hillbilly adventure is in the books. Got everything packed up and cleaned up and straightened up and loaded up and a whole bunch of up. But anyway, guys, it was a great little trip, and I hope y'all had some fun. Hope y'all enjoyed, you know, kind of hanging out, checking out some of the scenery and all that good stuff. But anyway, I guess like they say, all good things must come to an end, right? So I'm going to get on home and hand this video over to Heather. Let her do her magic, and we should have it up in a day or two. But anyway, guys, y'all have a really good day. And until the next adventure, Leo out.